Einen wunderschönen guten Tag, ich bin hier bei Activision für Call of Duty Advanced Warfare und habe gleich ein Interview mit Glenn Schofield, unter anderem dem Chef von Sledgehammer Games, die das Ding entwickelt haben. In the English, I will talk with the questions here, the English. Very aufregend. Viel Spaß.
Hi GIGA gamers, Michael Condrey here at Gamescom 2014 with Advanced Warfare. I'm one of the founders of Sledgehammer Games. This is the game we brought. It's exciting times.
Yeah, so I'm very interested in the story actually. I know this is a multiplayer event mainly, but there was one thing I found really interesting, and that was the announcement trailer with Kevin Spacey. It was very exciting. Thing is, when I listened to Kevin Spacey, I was like, yeah, he's absolutely right. And I thought for a second that he was the hero and I would fight with him. And then I realized, oh, he's the villain. So are you going to address that ambiguity, or is it going to be quite clear-cut, black and white like it was in the past?
Well, Kevin Spacey is amazing, right? And his character, Jonathan Irons, is one of the primary characters in the game. In fact, he's the head of Atlas, the PMC. And, you know, if you've seen House of Cards, you can see that, you know, Kevin has a wide range as an actor, one of the best actors today. And so when he brings that power and performance to Jonathan Irons, yeah, you're going to ask yourself, is he the good guy? Is he the bad guy? Is he right? Is he wrong? What's going on here? And I think the story trailer sort of set that up.
But is it actually incorporated into the storytelling? Is it just Kevin Spacey does it because he's a great actor, or did your writer actually intended to tell a different story with kind of gray zones instead of black and white?
Oh, absolutely. You know, when we first started thinking about what Advanced Warfare would mean, and we started speaking to our military advisors, and the creative team got together, we wanted, you know, a pretty provocative topic that would drive a really compelling narrative. And as you're seeing today in the world, this idea of the rise of the PMCs is real. It's ripped from the headlines. And the idea that, you know, what happens when somebody with all of the, you know, power of a massive private military organization like Jonathan Irons, what happens when he turns from, say, I don't know, policy and profit to just power? And power changes everything and changes people, and let's see what happens with him.
Okay. I would like to ask you a few questions about yourself, your studio, because it was quite interesting when Sledgehammer was first announced as a Call of Duty developer, because as we all know, you come from a very different past. You basically with Visceral Games, and beforehand you did pretty much every genre there is, but especially the transition from Dead Space to Call of Duty seems very interesting to me. So was that a conscious decision? Did you think, I want to go all out now after doing a very subtle game, or kind of subtle game? Do you want to go all out, or was it just something that kind of happened?
Well, you know, I was single-handedly the creative mind behind Dead Space, and then I was single-handedly the guy who, oh, hi, Glenn.
Hi.
Oh, hello there.
I remember
Who's
when I bailed you out of prison, and
hey,
I said, hey, I could use an intern who's kind of dumb.
Glenn Schofield, my friend and partner.
Yeah.
The intern, that's Sledgehammer's news intern, Glenn Schofield.
Yes.
No, he was the intern, and once I got him out of prison.
So nice.
Yes, that was tough.
Well, thank you for showing up to the interview. This is GIGA Gamers, one of my favorites, and I was here on time.
GIGA Games.
GIGA Games. Like that?
GIGA Games.
The R.
I knew what it was.
Yeah.
Hey, GIGA Games. This is my ex-parolee partner, Michael Condrey, and yes,
we were talking about
intelligence.
What were we talking about?
Yeah, I have no idea. Let's just
we were talking
stop
about
this.
why Dead Space to Call of Duty.
Exactly.
Right? And well, it's a great story. And now that Glenn is here, why don't you pick up?
Awesome.
Well, I mean, Dead Space allowed us the we got, you know, more people came to know who we were, and then so. We just decided that the next, it felt like the next thing in our career was to start our own studio. And if you're going to start your own studio, what are your goals, right? And it was like, well, we'd love to work on one of the biggest games there is. And so in talking with Activision, they also have this independent studio model that allowed us to make a studio the way that we want to make it. And then they offered us to work on Call of Duty, and you know, who can turn those two things down?
Sure, absolutely. Talking about Dead Space, one of the most special things about the game was the sound design, in my opinion. And back in the past, Call of Duty always kind of lacked the oomph necessary, I thought, with the weapon sounds. Just now I had the presentation, the multiplayer presentation, and I felt like there was a little bit more oomph. Is that the case? Did you put a special emphasis on the sound design as you did back in the day?
Yeah, that's right. We started. We had a list of features, and one of them right at the top was more oomph. Yeah.
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 And no, so with 3 years to focus on tech and the narrative and the creative, one of the tech focuses for next gen was really a true next gen audio experience. And we have a world-class audio team led by Dave Swenson and Don Vecca, and these guys are amazing, amazing sound designers.
Best.
And they also, architected a new audio engine to really bring a next gen sound to Advanced Warfare.
Talking about the tech, you have a new engine now, like a completely new engine with a few old code left, is what you said, right?
Yeah, 3 years to develop the tech and the techniques focused on next gen hardware, and you're seeing the results. Hopefully when you play it later today, and you saw in the trailers, from characters to character animations to rendering to physics to audio, these are the performance that you're seeing on Xbox One and PS4. We just couldn't have done this on the last generation, and so it was that extra time, that extra year of development really allowed us to take some risks, both creatively and with the tech, and that got us to today.
Does that new tech actually have a name itself, the engine?
It's the Oomph engine now.
Awesome. By GIGA Games. If you could incorporate that, would be great. Trademark.
No. The Oomph engine was our idea.
Well. Get into the multiplayer. The multiplayer, there's a lot of small questions, but I think it all culminates into one big question, for me at least, and I think for many other gamers too. I have a lot of fun with Titanfall. Why should I stop playing Titanfall and start playing Call of Duty, since it seems pretty similar?
Let me have Glenn take a crack at this one then.
Well, I mean, there's you don't have to put down one to play the other. They're different games, right? And once you start to play our game, you'll understand that they are not the same. He's right. At some point, you're going to want to just stay on Advanced Warfare. But for now,
you're going to admit that you listen to Justin Bieber, and then the world's going to be right again.
You could actually play our game and turn down the Oomph engine and put Justin Bieber on there and have a blast.
Now it sounds like the best game. Now you're selling me.
Now
That's so easy, actually. Call of Duty now is Justin Bieber Advanced Warfare. That's an exclusive, actually. Best Call of Duty ever created?
Oh man, I don't know. Like this legacy of this franchise with the work that Infinity Ward has done and Treyarch has done, I wouldn't want to say that we're standing on the shoulders of giants. Those studios have done phenomenal work. Yeah. I can tell you we couldn't be more proud of what we've done, and to even be in the same breath as something like Call of Duty 4 and Modern 1, right, and Call of Duty 3, like
ever made in the industry, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's just to be considered in that family of games is an honor. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for the interview. Any last words? Why you want them to buy the game? Except, I mean, they do have the Justin Bieber engine. That's pretty awesome. But if there's one feature, I mean, if that's just one feature you get nowhere else, what would it be?
Let's pick one from each area, right? What Kevin Spacey brings to the narrative, amazing.
I think what the exoskeleton brings to the gameplay has just completely changed it. It's because everything kind of went off from that. So now I can go vertical. That means you have to change the way you make your maps. And once you go vertical, now we started adding the dodge and the hover and all these different things to it. It is the catalyst that just kept going further and further throughout the game. And that's what's made it different. It's what made it fast, and it's what's really been the major innovation, at least the big game changer, we call it.
And you're going to see it in multiplayer. Multiplayer is so new. The addition of loot and pick 13 and new game modes coming back like Hardpoint, new game modes like Uplink, which you're going to play in a minute. Yeah, it's, man, I got to tell you, I can't.
Look at the preview.
It's tons of fun, and I think I said tons of fun twice now, so that's 2 tons of fun. But it's hard
4,000 pounds.
That's 4,000 pounds.
Like 700.
That's a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah. That's a lot of fun. It's hard for us. We're proud of what the studio's done. We can't wait for you guys to play it. It's hard to pick one.
Will Kevin Spacey wear exoskeleton? Because that would be like the combination of your 2 favorite things. Just saying.
You mean in the game?
Yes. Or in real life. I mean, it would be fine with both.
In real life, he does.
He does? Yeah, that's why he's that awesome.
In the game, you're going to have to play it.
Okay, well, you can add November 4th?
November 4th.
November 4th. Or November 3rd.
Day 0, November 3rd.
Right, if you pre-order the game, you get it November 3rd. PC, Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS4 and PS3. Probably wasn't the right order, but anyway. Thank you.
Diese Episode ist nun vorbei. Wie sich andere Spieler beim Weiterklicken entschieden haben, erfahrt ihr jetzt. 70% haben auf unsere Gamechecks geklickt, 20% haben unsere Microsite angeklickt und was macht das? 2% haben auf ein Hase, ein Ei, ein C, ein Call of Duty. Dein Penis? Egal, das andere. Und 2% haben hier unten hingeklickt, das ist aber falsch, da gibt es nicht zu klicken. Tschüss.